I've got a quick question for you guys, which I think is an interesting question. Have you guys got in your family an AI safe word so that you all know a word if you're pushed? Because obviously AI is being used a lot to turn people against each other, and you know, I've got your such and such in hostage, and then you sort of say, "What's the safe word?" Then, and you're in a position to combat the fakeness. Yeah, any safe words?
Yeah. So, God, what's your safe word, Jack?
Clucking like a dog, like you just said, Stu.
In all honesty, mate, it's something I think about on quite a regular basis and just don't get around to chatting to the guys about because it's not there yet. But the second it's there, I'll be like, right, guys, fucking get around the table. Right, what are we saying? What's the safe word? Let's find what can no one guess?
Right, it's there, mate. You're just going to put yourself a crossbow. Well, I think we're there, mate. How far does it have to go?
It doesn't even need to be anything guessable, does it? It's just one thing that amazes me is I went to a summer party on Sunday. This is what we do around Henley. And there was a magician there, and this magician was there last year, and he did this thing where he said, think up any Wikipedia page, any in the world, but it has to actually be an official page. And he said, pick one word from that Wikipedia page. So I picked something obvious like Henley-on-Thames and went down, and it's like 600 words underneath the description of Henley-on-Thames. And then I picked a word like difference. It's nothing that he'd be able to tell. But anyway, I've got it in my head. And then I've showed Kelly like the word, and then he's gone, begins with a D, doesn't it? I was like, how's he got that? How has he got that? And then he was like, the word is different. So I was like, there is no way. So he would just in seconds know my safe word just by being able to telepathically walk past me in Sainsbury's, nick my safe word.
Could AI do the same? Could AI do the same, mate?
So I'd applaud any listeners to get a safe word in with their family, because if you watch that, The Godfather of AI, he even talks about he's got split bank accounts in Canada because they're the only banks that didn't go under in 2008. He backs up all of his cloud stuff on a hard drive that's not Wi-Fi linked. So basically, it's like isolated and in a drawer. Pretty interesting, like listening how he's obviously taken security of it.
Yeah, Nobel laureate as well now, isn't he?
But the individuality authenticity thing we were talking about earlier, that all comes down to the blockchain and having some digital impression that can't be duplicated. And that's really why the Bitcoin network is quite powerful. But it does solve a lot of these problems that are going to inevitably.
They need to do it, mate. I had a direct debate with Mo Gordat about this on Instagram DMs about 2 years ago. I said to him, do you not think you've got this naturally occurring phenomenon with the blockchain technology, and then you've got this more deliberate like technological push for artificial intelligence? One promotes scarcity, one promotes abundance. The two could regulate each other, and then you have a world where we can at least understand what's true, what's fake. And his whole thing was that crypto's a scam and blockchain's never going to be adopted by the masses. And I was like, I don't believe that. I can't believe that that's not the answer. Like,
but just to play devil's advocate with the blockchain, so what you're getting at is it's making an asset more secure in this environment that we live in. That's the exact justification of why hostage is going to be even worse, because they're not going to be able to get their hands on it. So they have to hostage. That's the whole point of the AI. They pretend they're hostaging, or they manipulate something so that they go, you need to do this.
But if the ID call has to come from a verified user, then you know it's not AI. So AI couldn't get hold of you. Do you know what I mean?
It happens today. Why don't we know that it's not a scam? I've had people ring me up that are extremely convincing that they say they're from my.
Yeah, but it's like a digital fingerprint. So you and I would be discussing. My fingerprint would recognise and validate your fingerprint, and we would then have a conversation. So everyone in every transaction has an identifiable. You can't link your passport to it because there's nothing. You can't transfer data from peer to peer without it being duplicated or manipulated. But on the not the crypto, on the blockchain network, on the Bitcoin network, the nodes are all around the world. That's all decentralized totally. That's now 17 years old, means that no one else can manipulate my fingerprint versus your fingerprint. So whenever we're talking, or wherever we have a Zoom call, or wherever we transact on the internet, my fingerprint will always validate your fingerprint, and that's it. And that's what the network is, not the coins or what transfers value, because a Satoshi, 100 millionth of a Bitcoin, can take that data, which is what 0.00001 penny at the moment. That's the value between me going, yep, that's validated, and that gets locked into the blockchain. And then you can have different layers. It's like the base layer is the internet, and then every layer can be built on top, but it all gets validated back down to the core database.
Yeah, but surely the person that built the maze knows how to get out.
Because the maze has been built by a protocol. The protocol is like the protocol's set, press play, and then it starts. The
It's a
whole protocol
naturally
starts.
occurring
No one can
phenomenon.
manipulate
Yeah,
it.
it's very much a naturally occurring
It's
phenomenon
like
on the Bitcoin
fire.
network.
It's like saying, well, you
Yeah.
can't. You know,
There was
if you
someone
make
that
fire, you can burn
ignited
the
it.
houses down.
Yeah, someone ignited it, but then the fire spread, and now the fire is like as strong as the spread, and there's no like getting it back in.
Or it's like Wuhan, and someone created the virus, stuck it in a fucking bat, and all of a sudden you can't stop it because it just spreads. You just can't block it, and that's.
It's a good job that bat didn't, get hit by a bus in its first sort of like 100 meters.
Yeah, no, exactly. And there was times in 2013, 2016 where the government could have shut it down, and they missed their opportunity. And now it's way too big and it's way too uncontrollable. Trying to shut it down, and it just fucking went from there straight into Kazakhstan.
That it is honestly that is the most fascinating modern story, and there'll be a really good documentary piece at some point of the Bitcoin rise and how it's gone through this like evil like only for criminals thing to like no one's backing it to now it's like this other thing, and now governments are mandating it, and it's becoming legal tender. It's just a mad story within a short period.
Legal tender.
Actually, start seeing it, you can't unsee it, and that's the other thing is that this thing's growing beyond. It's growing beyond comprehension, and everything. Once everyone starts believing in it, what you don't go in on 1%, 2%, 3%. You get someone to put £1,000 on the blockchain, they start paying attention, they learn a little bit more, and before you know it, they're putting their whole life savings into it. And this happening on a global phenomenon. Whether you're from Kenya, from India, or from Manhattan, everyone's pouring their wealth into it. I'm a little bit committed. I'm definitely over the chasm now. I would say I'm 100%. But now it's a security thing.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you go and subscribe to the Ground Up Podcast.